Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Spider-Man 2002. Let's just call it that from now on.
If I always said Uncle Ben's killer's located at the top of the wardrobe or something, I think, well, that'd be a pretty shit level. Just climb up the wardrobe and there you go.
All right, so continuing on from the previous part, we're still trying to find Uncle. Yeah, what the caption says.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you, game. Oh, apparently they even lifted the crawling through the vents thing from PS1.
Yeah. That's why I confused this for the same developer, because it so blatantly looks like it was made by the same people, because they're clearly basing it off on the gameplay of that game. Anyway,
this music feels a bit inappropriate. I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, I don't particularly care for the music of this game, so.
I'm surprised you didn't just reuse Danny Elfman's score or something.
So just like with the previous level, you also have a stealth bonus that you can get. The problem is that, of course, I wasn't in the shadows, so it was easy for them to see. But, yeah, whatever. Moving on.
Just beat the living shit out of them.
The stealth in this game is not really that good anyway, so.
I'm surprised you didn't just use the web bind. I mean, that usually does it good, especially since you've got the unlimited web fluid.
I know, but I'm trying not to be too overly happy with the power web, but I want to at the very least somewhat show some amount of fighting without just resorting to instant moves.
Oh, I know that. I'm just talking about for stealth. The web bind is actually pretty useful.
It is. It's just that, I don't really care enough. Like I said, the stuff in this game is not really that good, aside from getting points for the secret store, which you can just unlock alternatively anyway, so who cares? Anyway, yeah, we have to get rid of that steam. Well, not get rid of it, we have to avoid that steam. And now this is where I can explain a specific mechanic. Basically, too, we have an alternate way of webbing ourselves to a specific spot. Yeah, Bruce.
The black button?
That's racist.
It's because he has generic button descriptions just for the sake of. Oh yeah, and I'm also showing the web. Basically, you can surround yourself with web and explode. That's probably the move that Joe thought maybe I was gonna make. Anyway, all right, you can point.
Let's talk about the web bind.
That too, yeah. Anyway, yeah. Basically, too, did you notice that spider icon that showed up that was green? That's basically when I press the right trigger, what happens is that icon appears, and I can, and if it's red,
that moves the same.
Yeah, and that when it's red, you cannot do anything. But when it is green, that means you can zip line your way towards it. So it's a really good way to zip line yourself. Think of it like as a super powered hook shot, except it sticks to everything.
Oh no, I get it. There's a similar move to that in Shattered Dimension, anyway. So, yeah.
Probably inspired by this.
Yeah. Most of the modern, before obviously the Insomniac game, most of the combat in the Beanox games has always been an evolution to this. Charming music.
Yeah, definitely quite possibly not the most fitting for this.
Not really, no. The problem is that, like I said various times, the problem is that you can tell the composer. Go ahead.
The music is quite hit and miss for this game. Some tracks do work for their respective stages, others like this one don't. Spider-Man 2,
go ahead.
Yes. Spider-Man 2 had the good idea of, actually using some of the music from the movie in collision with some of their own.
I love explaining this. I could climb the stairs, but I can just... There you go.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the things you should do as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It doesn't take stairs, come on.
Alright, boss time.
Well, hey, you can take the lift.
Oh. But the guy is actually a boss fight.
Yes, he is. In this one, he shoots at you. My guess is, since they're using the excuse that since Spider-Man is still inexperienced, he's still not to the point where he can defeat this guy with incredible ease, even though he still should. But I guess we need a boss battle for the end of the level, I guess.
Is there a cutscene like the one in the movie where it looks in horror? That's the guy who. No. Instead,
you just he already remembered Webbs. In the movie, he doesn't know he's Uncle Ben's killer until he actually sees his face straight up.
I actually remember he's not Uncle Ben's killer.
But for the first movie
for
anyway,
for the first movie. Let's just say I don't like that retcon and move on. The
Even
point.
Sam Raimi hated that retcon.
Remember, Joe, that was Sam Raimi's idea.
I'm pretty sure that was executive.
No,
meddling.
apparently that was a Raimi thing.
Really, where was that mentioned?
Well, it's been mentioned all over the place.
A source.
You have to look online for that.
Go ahead and
Trying to
look
find
online,
the
Dwebs, while I explain this boss battle. Anyway, I recommend locking onto him and making sure you're somewhere in the wood boards to make sure he cannot shoot you if he can see you, obviously. So if you're hidden behind the wood boards, you should be fine. In the meantime, you can come back up and try your best to throw web balls at him, like I did. There you go.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, never mind. You're right. I mistook things there. I think I was maybe thinking of another game. No. Yeah. So yeah, in this, my guess is Teo. They wanted to make like this scene more like it was completely an accident that he fell. Whereas in the movie, you can kind of make an argument that Peter was kind of committed homicide there or something.
Wait, I forgot that in the movie he dies as well.
Oh, you did? Okay. Anyway,
because usually the story goes that he just packs him up in web and gives it to the police.
Anyway, Uncle Ben's narration.
Yeah, great power, great responsibilities and shit.
Narration. Ding.
So late in the game.
So late in the game.
Not really, it was only in part 2.
Well, late than usual, I mean, for narration. Oh, hi,
Willem.
Willem Dafoe.
And thankfully, they actually got Willem Dafoe for this.
Yeah, both Toby and Willem came back for this game. Not the others, if I remember correctly. I don't think there's any other actors from the movie that come back.
I'm trying to remember if Kirsten Dunst.
No, I'm pretty sure. Or is it? Dwebs, check. Is Kristen Dunst in this game?
Hang on.
I know she's in the second game, but I'm not sure about this one. Anyway, Willem Dafoe, and he looks considerably younger than he does in the actual movie here.
The wonders of modern technology.
God damn it, these CG cutscenes aged not
terribly.
Actually,
I don't know. I've seen worse. When it comes to CG cutscenes of this time, I've seen worse. This isn't too bad.
Honestly, this is fine. I mean,
for the time, of course.
Yeah, but and I will say that as far as in regards to aging, it's definitely far from the worst. So anyway, in this version, Norman Osborn is actually looking into capturing Spider-Man for genetic research.
Yeah, this particular game is actually much more faithful to the comics than the movie, in a sense that before he even becomes the Green Goblin, Norman Osborn actually wants to try and use the Hunter Killers to try to capture Spider-Man so he can complete his serum. Whereas in the movie... Whereas in the movie, they just complete the serum by themselves without the need for Spider-Man's DNA. Yeah. Anyway, there's nothing going. It turns out there's nothing going on in the city right now. So in order to get more photos for JJ, Peter needs to do some acrobatics and take photos of himself. I have no idea how the hell he's going to take a picture of himself while he's doing this, but whatever.
Pedro, he's a guy who can web sling by latching onto the sun, as we can see. I'm sure he can do anything.
Yeah, but who's taking the pictures right now? Because he's.
God is pleased with you, Spider-Man.
Okay. Basically, in universe, he webs.
What's that writing?
I don't know.
Someone's writing something in the sky.
Is that like an Easter egg?
I think so, yeah.
Probably.
But our hero destroying a potential girl's balloon who got lost.
Chaos.
Is I don't understand. What's the point of? What the hell is that even there for?
I'm gonna research into it.
Shots for JJ. Gotta get back to the Bugle, collect my money, and get my rent paid. Uh-oh. I don't know
Hi. Come here often?
Tells me it isn't friendly.
You don't say.
Okay, so
no, it's about to blow up the Treyarch building.
These guys are really persistent.
Okay, so the Normans sent 13 hunter killers after us, so we had to destroy all 13 of them. The key to doing this is lock on them and just use your web. If you need any web replenishers, you can just search around the town. There should be some in there.
Well, I gotta say, Peter's webbing is pretty powerful. I mean, normally he has to make a web ball for that kind of impact, but no, a web line is strong enough.
My guess
Oh my
is
god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god! It spelled chow for a bit.
my guess is it's kind of hard to do the web ball because you have to use both the D-pad up and the web button, and that's kind of hard to do while you're in the air. Because so I'm guessing they decided to just slightly bend the rules in this part for the sake of gameplay convenience.
To be fair, there was actually a point in continuity where yes, his webbing actually was strong enough, so I'm fine with it.
Oh, okay. Apparently the Chaos thing, it's a reference to Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2.
Which is also an Activision property,
yeah.
so yeah.
And made by Neversoft. And Spider-Man is apparently unlockable in that game as well, so...
Yeah. I
Easter
remember
egg,
the hype
basically.
back then.
Alright, not much.
We did it.
Not much of a level, but I guess it's for the story. Moving on.
They
It's
are,
basically something-
they are in the link. I found some stuff about the whole thing. About
Alright, we can talk it later, and for now, cutscene.
So now what?
Alright, Dibs, now you get.
Mind.
Alright, Dibs, now you get to see what the Shocker looks like in the comics.
I've seen bits and I remember I've seen the animated series.
Yeah,
The 90s one?
Vulture too.
Yeah. In this particular one, Shiroi, unlike the Homecoming interpretation, this is more akin to the comics one, where he's actually really, really old, like 90 years old or something. Whereas the Shocker... Whereas the Shocker actually has a full-blown mask and everything, and
Yeah.
however, aside from those Shiroi, it's basically the same thing. This wall is coming down. His voice is familiar. Who voices Shocker?
I'm gonna check.
Don't let any of the civilians die. They are more important than catching up with Shocker. You hear that, Zack Snyder? Sorry, I had to get it out of my system.
Michael BT.
I think I've heard of that name, but
I'm gonna, because it doesn't have a link, I'll see what this IMDb's page says.
Matrix bullet time. Because remember,
Of course.
now remember, Teo, back in these days, everybody was obligated to do that. Okay, so yeah, like the game said, you're supposed to protect both the guards and the civilians. Basically, just beat up the guys. That's all you have to do. And they're very easy mooks to kill, as you can see, so you should be fine. Again, remember to use the lock-on feature, because the lock-on feature can be really useful when you're in a large area like this, and it can become kind of easy to lose the placing of the enemies. However, if you use the lock-on feature, you can just immediately turn yourself towards it automatically. So, and there you go. And Spidey Sense. So yeah, the way the Spidey Sense works in this game is it's just via cutscenes where you see the Spidey Sense and then you see through this filter what's about to happen or what's happening right now. And there you go. This is the game's way of basically telling you, okay, here are the people you have to save. Now go.
Go!
Alright, save civilians.
Anyway, he voiced Blade Wolf in Metal Gear Rising.
Oh, so that's... okay.
We did some voices in some of the Saints Row games. He was in Dragon Age Origins. He was Mordin Solus in Mass Effect 2 and 3. He has what's the name? He has a quite interesting resume, but just maybe not that much.
I can imagine. What I recommend doing in that earlier part is be sure to prioritize saving the normal civilians over the guards, because the guards have more defense, so they'll last longer, whereas the civilians can get easily injured, especially if you're not playing on the harder difficulties. Make sure you prioritize the normal civilians over the guards.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this.
So you must be Quilt Man. Mr. Triple Ply? Oh, I've got it.
Just make sure you zap him with the right gun, Peter. Otherwise, you'll end up. Yeah.
Dude, I know that this is classic dumb civilian logic. Oh look, this ball is being assaulted by a supervillain. I'm just gonna stay here and talk on my cell phone. Brilliant.
That. So we have that plus the Marvel Universe citizen trope.
Yeah, in a sense, but
Oh my god, this guy's been on his phone the entire
not just
time.
that. Oh, even if his superior is gonna save him, I'm gonna still criticize him for no reason at all.
Fortunately, Jova, this game does not use the Marvel civilians are assholes trope in any shape or form. So we're at the very least safe from that one, at least.
I know about that, and thank goodness, because Amazing Spider-Man 2 took that trope and rammed it up to an 11 to the point where it even interferes with the gameplay.
I've actually never played the Amazing Spider-Man games.
The game.
I've heard they weren't very good.
The first one is actually good, and its main problem is that you could tell it's trying to be like Arkham City, which is such a weird thing for Spider-Man to do gameplay-wise, considering 2 and 3, but
Well,
whatever. Amazing Spider-Man...
Yeah, the Insomniac game seems to also kind of taking some cues from that.
No. Let's just say it was practically Arkham City just with Spider-Man in it, to the point where you had the takedowns.
Yeah. True, yeah.
Now, yeah.
Well, the stealth trades back also to Remember Shattered Dimension, which was co-developed at the same time of Arkham Asylum, so...
Now, see, the problem with Amazing Spider-Man 2 is that, okay, you're not forced to do side quests, but basically, if you don't answer to, like, every single cry for help for a side quest, the city will start to see you more as a menace. And then they'll put up things to interfere with you to the point where, I kid you not, there are even electric nets meant to stop Spider-Man and a special task force that will hunt you down in the overworld.
Hey, Shocker.
Citizens of New York sound really petty in that game.
Hey, look at this. Oh boy!
And from what I'm hearing, the I guess the new Insomniac game isn't really going to do a morality system.
It's not needed if you ask me.
I mean, look, a morality system could be done well, it's just Amazing Spider-Man 2 did it horribly.
So, and it's sad that after all those years...
Web of Shadows as well.
So, Taylor, after that cutscene, you know what's next, right?
So, yay.
Yay.
So does that mean we have to fight the lizard as well?
Funnily enough, that's actually Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, Spider-Man 3 is the one that has the lizard. The games, we mean.
Yeah,
obviously. I saw the movie.
Oh god, I mean, damn it, could you imagine if there were 4 villains in that movie?
To me, it's like what Doug said. It's like that actor who played for 3 movies straight, Dr. Connors.
Yeah.
They were kind of trying to build him up, and then...
I'm guessing they were saving him for Spider-Man 4 or something.
They actually were! Alongside Carnage.
So okay. The exact same thing they did in...
Okay. Hold on, let me explain this.
You have the web gun.
The web. You can actually surround your fists with web to make your punches stronger. This becomes even really handy because this particular level introduces mooks with body armor, which means, of course, it takes more hits to kill, especially if you're trying to take them down with your normal fists or feet. So it's a good idea to use your web fist thing to make sure you can deal more damage. It also becomes really useful in bosses.
It's like in the game Dweebs played. It's they got the same power up.
Yeah, I'm just in case someone didn't watch that playthrough.
No. Yeah, I was just observing.
This game, the 2001. This game. Well, I don't know actually. Now that I think about it, I don't know which game is more popular.
What between this and the Dreamcast Spider-Man game?
Yeah.
I'd say that they're relatively equal. It probably helps that they have some of the, pretty much the same gameplay. My guess is
since this one was tied to the movie, I'm willing to bet this one probably was more prominent and sold better.
Probably.
All right.
This music.
There we go.
Sounds like medieval.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're deep down.
There you are, Sir Daniel Fortescue.
Oh.
Better pick up the pace before I lose Shocker.
Sonny, please bring back medieval. Okay, thanks.
Please. Anyway,
Do Sony still own Medieval?
it does. Remember,
Well, it's their IP, Jova. It's their
it's one of its IPs.
Oh yeah,
So
oh, yeah that's right. That guy
works.
showed up in PlayStation All
All
Stars.
Stars Battle. Yeah, it's actually one of the funniest characters to use, actually. Anyway.
Hey, Shocker.
It's time to stop that freak. Vic, make it happen.
Such a weird line. Such a weird line, that one. Rick, make it happen.
Did you say Rick or Vic?
I think he said Vic.
Is it? Whatever. Vic, Rick, whatever. It's just a generic move that doesn't matter.
'Cause if it were Rick, I could imagine him shouting, "My name's not Rick!"
So here's the big plan. Not only did they do the vault, but they also take the vault with them.
That's smart.
And he stole a level from the first Spider-Man PS1 game to do it.
Fortunately, this sewer's technology operates on Lego logic, and all
You can just plug that in again.
yeah, we can just plug that in again, and it works just as well.
Fair enough.
Of course.
So yeah, it doesn't work.
Alright.
So let's get it.
We just need to track that down, I guess.
Also, I gotta say, that Spider-Man logo, that Spider-Man look there on the top right of the health bar,
Top left, yeah.
it kind of the blue half kind of looks like this was meant to like foreshadow Venom or something.
It's because we have the red bar for HP and the blue bar for web, so I'm guessing they're trying to do I don't know.
I don't know.
Also drove to what you said before about the morality system of Amazing Spider-Man 2. Remember, Web of Shadows also tried to do something similar to that.
Yeah, but Web of Shadows, that was tied more so to the endings or pathways you took.
Yeah,
as
even
opposed
though
to-
it didn't really change much aside from a few cutscenes.
Well,
It's still a shame because Web of Shadows on paper, it's actually a really interesting concept of a game.
I'd say that Web of Shadows, even with those issues, I'd say Web of Shadows still was a pretty good all-around game.
Yeah.
And I do feel that there were at least enough different endings. Like, heck, you even got Wolverine and a Venom symbiote in one of those endings.
Yeah.
Wow.
That, having Wolverine in a Spider-Man game and not having him stealing the show was actually really a new thing, especially for Marvel at the time.
Notice how all I had to do was put the handle back in. I didn't even have to turn it.
Without even turn.
This one. I think he's about to say it.
Website or something?
Ha,
Yeah.
that was funny. Where'd you get them from? An internet site or something?
Yeah, and keep in mind, this was back when the internet was still kind of a new thing. So
Well, even the game Dweebs played as Venom going like serve the web or something.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I remember too. That was back when people, for some reason, had the impression that somehow the internet was this cyberspace thing. It was a whole new world that you could go into. But I have no idea where the hell people got that idea from.
Romanticizing everything, probably.
I guess.
Not just for Tron. Even Capcom fell into that with Mega Man Battle Network.
All right. Moving on. Cockroach.
You know, funnily enough,
I think they're rats. Go ahead.
Think about okay. Mook number 36. Think about this. Are you really being paid enough?
You know. I think there's actually a bit of media that I think actually does have a moot question. Okay, we're going up against a guy who's taken down some of the most top big villains. Are we really getting paid enough for this?
In Shattered Dimension, there is one level where one of the mooks actually, there is a conversation that kind of ends up one of the mooks saying, "You see, this is just we're like goons. We're just standing here talking about everything without doing something."
Right. Anyway, Tio, regarding Spider-Man and Wolverine, yeah, surprisingly, Spider-Man is officially nowadays Marvel's top money maker.
Well, because per matter, yeah, I know.
Well, not just promoter, but because of how marketed Spider-Man has become. Like, to the point where he's the most popular superhero marketed in USA and even Canada, much to Wolverine's chagrin.
It also helps that Spider-Man is well loved worldwide, especially in stuff like Japan, while X-Men in general have quite in America.
Speaking of which, why the hell was he not on the cover of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite for the Japanese release?
I really don't know how making cover system for games works, so I'm not even gonna bother starting to get some sense into that. That's probably some PR internal stuff.
So yeah, all the
What's
nukes
the
decide to
grenade?
gang up on me.
Of course.
So
Too bad for them that you had that web move.
yeah, it does consume a lot of web. Personally, I usually prefer playing this game with the organic webbing cheat because, well, it's supposed to be a time.
It's canon anyway, since he pretty much has that in the film.
Yeah, that's what
At
I'm
least
saying.
for the movie.
When it comes
Then
to
oh, go ahead.
when it comes to video game adaptations, I think reflecting the movie is just as is really important. Don't get me wrong; it can become a problem, like with the Tintin 16-bit games, where they try where basically the Tintin 16-bit games try way too hard to mimic the look of the comics, but don't even try to make the actual gameplay enjoyable. But I still think trying to mimic the source material when it comes to a game like this one, for example, is really important. Anyway, I got 2,000 points, so yeah.
Yay.
Alright, everybody, in the next part, we defeat Shocker. So see you then.
I know.
Cheers.
Yeah.